Strike dead. This ends now. Shoot on sight. Quiver! No turning back.
This will brighten up the place.
The eye sweeps the land. Ready. What a disgrace. Only emptiness awaits.
Hello everyone, welcome back. So for those who don't know, I managed to get myself Emilie, and previously I had not really given her much thought, but some recent developments have made me really choose to just go for her anyway. So we're here with Emilie and the Lava Dragon, because the Lava Dragon is precisely one of those developments that has made me annoyed enough to actually go and get Emilie. Because in a team like this, a sort of double pyro burn team that I would use mainly just to deal with Lava Dragon specifically, yeah, it was a team that didn't really feel all that great, because at the end of the day, it would just basically be mono pyro, what do you call it, mono pyro Arlecchino, and I don't enjoy mono pyro teams, I'll be real here. So getting Emilie at least means now that someone is actually benefiting from the fact that it's a burning team. So that's nice. And so we can do something like that. The main thing to notice is that obviously with all of that burning and the fact that we have a lot of additional pyro coming in as well from Arlecchino, Dehya, and a pyro-infused Kaz ult, yeah, we're able to basically break the Lava Dragon state pretty damn quickly, and that's not just the case in Overworld, it's also the case in Stygian Onslaught, and I would assume to be the case as well in Spiral Abyss. And so having Emilie here, being a character that does a lot of damage in these kinds of teams, is pretty much the reason why I decided to get her. Prior to her release, we didn't have any enemies that had this kind of mechanic that was frankly irritating enough, and that's the reason why I didn't go for her. We're here now. Lava Dragon exists, Papilla Shields exist, yeah. Those are sort of reasons enough for me to actually find some interest in getting Emilie, and at the end of the day, at least for me, I only get characters that I'm interested in, and those are the only characters I use these days, so there we go. Now this is not the only team that I'm probably going to be playing a fair bit with Emilie, at least while I still play Emilie. Because there's another team like this team. It is a quick burn load. Let me know in the comments what the actual nomenclature that we're using now is. Team with Clorinde. It could be with A, it could be with Miko, doesn't really matter. The main thing is that we have double electro, so obviously there's some additional energy and all that good stuff. I want you all to pay attention to how I'm going to use Iansan. Hopefully I do this correctly. Essentially, when it comes to using Iansan, we're going to use the dash from her skill. We're also going to do the jump that comes after the dash, and then we're also going to pop her ult. The idea is that by doing that specifically, we are going to react with the burning aura, which is effectively reacting with pyro. Then we're going to get rid of the burning aura, and then we're going to react with dendro, thus giving the scroll buff to the electro carry, the dendro, i.e. Emilie, and in this case also Dehya. Now obviously it's not super important that I get it on Dehya, because she's on Deepwood and is running Fab, so she's not like she's going to be doing a lot of damage. But if you were to, let's say, choose Mawika instead, then you might not have Deepwood on anyone, but at least then you can also buff Mawika's damage. That's potentially an option right there. Alright, let's do this. Hopefully I don't do this badly. There we go. So let's break the first stage of Lava Dragon. We can do a lot of damage now, because it turns out after you break the first stage of the Lava Dragon, it pretty much doesn't have any resistance and it actually died. So there we go. And as you can see, this is a team that can potentially do a lot of damage because we are, of course, using C6 Symphonist Iansan, the strongest attack buffer in the game. And on top of that, like I mentioned, we are buffing both Clorinde and Emilie and also Dehya, although in this case, because we didn't break every single stage of the Lava Dragon, Dehya's already somewhat limited damage was already getting even more limited by the very high res coming from Emilie, or rather coming from the Lava Dragon. All of this to say, this is a pretty solid alternative, in my opinion, to playing, let's say, Aggravate with Fish, or if you want to try and break something like a Papilla Shield or an Abyss Mimic Shield, because then you can play with Burning Auras instead. You can have a bit of fun with that. At least at this point now, having Emilie on my account means that I don't have to play Nahida on this team. Nahida is, I think, still a pretty solid choice on this team, especially because especially if you have C2 Nahida, of course. But if I want to, let's say, play Tighnari on the other side, then there we go. Now I can play Nahida on the other side without worrying all that much. And finally, there is one team I just want to showcase real quick, just as a team that I might play every so often, but not nearly as much as I'm interested in playing both that Burning team and the Clorinde team. So it's Forward Vape Neuvillette. Good old-fashioned Forward Vape Neuvillette, can't go wrong.
Let's get it on.
Stars, shine free.
And by having Layla, or ideally Citlali,
My guiding star.
we can actually have...
Neutralize.
Let's break the Papilla Shield, like I mentioned. We can do this too. But by having a cryo character in here doing some cryo damage and applying cryo, once again we are able to get all of Neuvillette's stacks. So ideally it's Citlali, but I don't have Citlali, so I'm making do. And Layla is actually absolutely perfectly fine in this slot. So this is probably a pretty strong team still. Certainly potentially stronger than running Nahida on this team. Definitely could be an option that may potentially allow you to bring Shilladin instead of Layla, and then sort of like figuring out your rotations for like the second round afterwards, because at least then Emilie's lamp only lasts for 20 seconds as opposed to Nahida's that lasts for like I think half a whole minute. Either way though, I'm not too fussed about running not Shilladin and not Citlali at the present moment, and I'm not entirely sure if I still want to get Citlali these days. Anyway, let me know what all of this in the comments below. What is my Emilie build? Well, I ended up with a top almost 1% Emilie build from all that pre-farming. I think if I get a better sand, maybe, or potentially a better hat, then I will have a top 1% build. I'm not too fussed about it. I mean, it's Emilie, so, you know, she already just is what it is. But look, I think she's pretty cool. And if I were to actually play a team that hyper-focuses on Emilie damage just for the memes, I can get her to do 90k hits. Can't really complain about that, can we, chat? Can't really complain about that at all. So, obviously, I am no expert at Emilie. There was a guy that I actually watched his video of. Bro spent 1 hour yapping about Emilie because he really, really likes Emilie. So I definitely recommend his video at least. Definitely gave me a few more ideas, but I think I've gotten the gist of Emilie down pat. She isn't like the most confusing, complex character in the game. Hey guys, it's Kate, the editor. I was actually rather curious to see whether a Deepwood build on the higher or a normal DPS build for Akashas would end up having more or less team DPS. And so as you can see with these two comparisons, yeah, there's a couple of variables maybe that I'm not controlling perfectly, but considering that it seems like Aeon Black Drake is dying at roughly the same time as each other, I get the feeling that Deepwood, at least in this case, is not as important as I once thought. Your mileage may vary, but she does have some cool things that can be thought about. Obviously, she's not necessarily like a burning DPS. She just uses burning to make sure that she can do more DPS, but you don't have to do as much burning as you would think, so you can kind of get away with things like Forward Vape Neuvillette, I think, or quick burn and all of that good stuff. Alright, cool. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. If you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more Genshin Impact action, and until next time, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Let's get it on!
A little ambiance.
One with nature. Transfixed.
As one with wind and cloud. The wind knows.
Fresh and floral.
Look alive!
Clouds high. The birds call.
One with nature.
This'll brighten up the place.
Buckle up! Hi! This is where you fall.